Everyone, good morning. It's Sunday morning. I know that we had a time change, and the time went back 1 hour or so. So some of you got extra sleep. Some of you had worked overnight. You had to stay at work an extra hour. So that usually sucks, but they'll usually pay you. So today we're doing this live stream on 10. Hold on, make sure I look at it just right. 10 reasons why black people don't support black business or endeavors. So I'm just gonna wait for people to jump in on the chat, and then we will get with it. Trying to look and see where everybody is on the chat and make sure I go to the right thing here. I don't see the chat room moving. Just let me get to the chat here where I can see what's going on, and then I'll be with you guys here in a second. And I want to take my time and go through this early this morning. Huh. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Is it a save button I need to hit? Okay. Let's see. Maybe let me go to this other one here, then I can probably see what's going on with the chat. Let me get up out of here for a second. And like I say, I will be with you guys. As a returning subscriber. Let's give me a second here. As a returning subscriber. I don't know why we ain't seeing a chat. They say chat is disabled for this stream. No, we're not trying to disable the chat. That's not what we're trying to do. I don't know why the chat was disabled. Enable live chat. Okay. Well, it should say that the chat should be available. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that fixed. There we go. Good morning. Well, most people know. Well, actually, this particular tie that I actually had this one. We found a company to actually make ties. So this tie, if most people would know what this tie is, we definitely support the work of Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey said that we wouldn't a people if we didn't have a flag to represent us. So, we definitely want to support all our great people in the past, present, and even future, whoever those people may be. So, well, Diana, white folks are more greedy than anybody else, but yet how is it that they succeed? But we'll get into that. Good morning, Inside Scarlet. Good morning, Croc Studio. It's early. Yes, it's early, Nikki. Vegas. Oh, shoot. Yes, I'm still live. I haven't went anywhere just yet. Good morning, everyone else. So, just want to just make sure that let enough people in before we get started. For anybody don't know what's going on, we'll be talking about the 10. We're also going to be talking about solutions as well. We're not going to just be talking about a problem, because other black people have discussed this behind the scenes, but a lot of them will not discuss this, with a lot of you guys. And also from time to time, we'll look at the chat room. It's amazing for me that right now it's 7:43 in the morning, and you have people already trolling on the chat room. That's crazy. But I guess, hey, they can't stay away. I need to show y'all that clip of this one white guy that was saying that he didn't understand why that he couldn't stay away from channels like mine and Cynthia's and stuff like that. He couldn't understand. He couldn't help himself. I need to show y'all that video. It's a small clip I want to show too, but it is amazing how they can't stay away from us. And it's fun. Rochester, New York. Okay. Oh, the UK. What's going on, UK? Yes, dedicated trolls is right. I mean, shoot. But, I thank the trolls a little bit, because it's not for the trolls. It's not for the people that make videos talking about me. And let me tell y'all something about that. If someone starts making videos about you and saying negative things, don't get upset by them. just look at it as free marketing that you didn't have to pay for if you're trying to build your channel, because human nature is going to do one of two things when a person makes a video about you. Either they're going to agree with them because they like them, or they're going to say, well, let me go see what that person's about. And then they go see what the person's about themselves. And then they say, oh, shoot, well, this person, I like how they describe them. Let me watch a little bit more of their videos. Then you may get a new person watching you based off of this person talking negative about you. Like I tell people, the only people that can affect my feelings is my family. And nobody on the internet doesn't have that kind of access to me emotionally to make me get my feelings hurt like that. So, you know, if somebody's talking about you, that's good. You're never going to stop people from talking about you, no matter what it is, whether you're small, great, rich, poor, whatever. People are always going to find a way to talk about you. So let's go ahead and get started. I think we got enough people in here for now. Let's see. Let me slide this over real quick. Yeah, I think we got enough people to get started. So we're going to talk about these 10 reasons why black people don't support black business or endeavors. Now, the thing is, we can't complain about racism and white supremacy all the time if we are refusing to do for ourselves. We have to remove ourselves from the tit of white supremacy, because a lot of us is on the tit of white supremacy, and we are afraid to get off of the tit of white supremacy. Yes, I said tit like a baby. Tit. Yes. We need to grow up. We're adults. We need to get off of that. In one instance, we talk about all this rah-rah stuff. We'll be saying Black Lives Matter. We'll be saying all this stuff, calling, you know, white supremacists devils and everything else. But at the end of the day, you go right to the same devil you're talking about for food, for a job, for everything. That's the catch-22. And how is it that other groups have came into this country, piggybacked off of the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the many bodies that fought and died for us to have rights and freedoms? They come into this country, they piggyback, and they do very well in this country. You look at the Asian community. They do very well in this country. This country wasn't open to them at all. They hated them just as much as they hated us. But they slid right in off of what we fought for, and they doing very well for themselves. Arabs come to this country, slide right in, do very well for themselves. Shoot, even other Africans come into this country, slide in, do very well for themselves. All these different groups that have been historically not liked. They doing good, but we aren't. What is the difference? This is what I have to say about when I talk about tough love. I can't sit here all day talking about white supremacy, racism, what these white folks are doing, yet we don't talk about what's our issues and what's our problems. And some of you not going to like some things that I say. So we're doing a lot of things that are insane financially. We can build our own economy overnight. It's not like we are broke like a lot of people think we are. It's so many things that we can do, but we need to expose the things that's causing the problems. So we're going to go ahead and get to number one here in a second. We'll go ahead and load up number one just so I can, let's see here. Okay, I got them. Thank you for letting me know. I just had to look at that. So number one, we'll put number one up on the screen. And number one would be, make sure I get my paper too. I don't want to forget nothing I'm about to say. Would be distrust. Yeah, make sure I look at all this. Distrust would be the number one first thing on our list. We don't trust black people. We don't at all. You remember the Willie Lynch letter that some people say that it's a fake letter? It's very accurate how black people are. The young against the old, the male against the female, the light against the dark, all this division and distrust that we have for black people. So when a black person has a great idea, they may want to create something like a toilet paper. They may want to start a restaurant. They may want to start whatever, a school or whatever they may want to start, which is a great thing, which we need more of this. You know how it is as black people. We can go into a bank with the same credit score as white folks, and they will give the white folk the loan a lot faster than they give the black people a loan. We always have to be 2 times or 3 times better just to get a loan. But they'll easily give a black person a car loan, a $60,000 car loan, but they won't give them $60,000 or $100,000 in business. Why is that? Because they don't want us to build our economy. So we have to build our economy based upon what the people can do. It can't be one person doing everything. And that's one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing, is that we'll have maybe 25 to 30% of the people trying to do all the work, trying to support, and the other ones just kind of sliding by because you don't have trust for your brother and you don't have trust for your sister. Not because they actually did something to make you distrust them, but you just, I don't know about them. I don't know about this. But the moment the white man tells you something, you don't have no distrust for him. You don't look at him funny. You don't say nothing to him. You just automatically believe him. He tell you got a charity. You just give your money to it. You don't have no questions. But if a black person has something, you questioning it, you looking at it up and down, you wondering about it. Why is it that you have so much distrust for your brother and sister? This is one of the things that's preventing us from creating our own economy. And we have to create our own economy by building businesses while supporting other endeavors. Now, look at Black Wall Street. Everybody talks about Black Wall Street. How did they build that? The white man didn't give them none of that. He didn't give them a loan. They went out themselves, believing in each other, trusting each other, and doing for self. And it was so great that when white folks came back from World War I, they was poor, they was destitute, they didn't have crap. But yet black people are living in mansions, living great by themselves, that a town that they built. And they say that how is it that blacks are living in mansions and we living in shacks? That's the power of what you can do with your unity if you, number one, have some trust for each other. Stop distrusting your brothers and sisters. And so with this, the solution is have more trust. Let a brother or sister show you what they're going to do first before you just automatically distrust them from the gate. The people we should have distrust for like that is these white supremacists. We are too screwed up in our head. How is it that they don't trust us? They trust their own people, but we are the opposite. We distrust our own. Yes, we have been affected so much. Yes, so much propaganda has been put out there to distrust black people. But one thing we have to do, and I keep putting this out there, is that we have to, as black people, learn to shut out the voices of the white supremacists, let them know to stay in your place, mind your business. You worry about your problems, let us worry about ours, and then we can get somewhere. But if we don't have trust for other black people, then we would never, ever get anywhere to build anything. Because, see, the white supremacists want us to be on an island to ourselves. See, they don't have a problem with a few black individuals moving up, or a few black individuals being successful. They have no problems with that at all. They don't. But what they do have a problem with is the collective. That scares them. Yes, we did have more black businesses before integration. And really, integration destroyed us in a lot of ways. Integration destroyed us morally, spiritually in a lot of ways. Because of our mentality, we thought that, well, you know, the white man's store is better than the black man, the black woman's store. And now we in a position today where our black businesses are very low. All our media companies are limited, or they're not 100% owned by black people. It's sad. It's very, very sad. So we have to have some trust, a little bit more in our people than what we are doing, because we cannot. Well, somebody say something. Hold on. This is the issue black people have. Okay, Dark Cloud Entertainment. Let me tell you something. With that, stop quoting IQ. That's a test that white people created to measure their so-called intelligence. We have never had to measure our intelligence in history. That's stuff that they do. We don't measure our excellence off of their test. That test is rigged for them. We don't need to do that. So please don't. When people tell me about an IQ, I just look at it and kind of laugh. Because you need a test to tell you you're smart, just like they have to have things to tell them they're superior. So let's not even engage in that. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next one here. So number 2, yes, you're right. We do need to grow our own food. That is very important. So number 2 is the sins of other brothers and sisters. Now, what I mean by that, if a brother or sister did wrong, possibly in finance, they didn't do what they were supposed to do with, money or whatever, you will have in your mind this one black person or a few black people that you saw in your lifetime, and you say, you know what, I will not support black people again. I will not help any endeavors ever again because I remember this guy, I remember this woman did this. But yet other groups of people don't do that. Do you think black people are the only group of people who have people who don't do the right thing or who do criminal activity or who are trying to hustle, who's trying to con? You think black people are the only ones? Please. Look at the ones that's running this country. They are the biggest con artists. They the biggest thieves. They the biggest liars. You look at situations like Enron. Look at what happened to all those people for right here in Houston. You look at people like Bernie Madoff, how they did all that stuff to those people. I mean, you can go through all kind of white collar crime. Look at the Clinton Foundation. They took all that money for Haiti, and yet the people in Haiti didn't get the money. But yet you don't hear nobody saying nothing about, well, I'm not going to give nothing to the Clinton Foundation, or I'm not going to ever fool the Clintons again. No, when it comes to white people, y'all, no matter what they do, you could have a documented history of them stealing money, stealing resources, doing whatever, and yet you will still trust them when it comes to their sins and go back with them. So when it comes to us, why is it that you aren't that way with us more than anybody else? And what another brother or sister has done doesn't mean the next brother or sister would do the same thing. So we have to stop being so harsh of a judge on our own people. We too hard on black people. Yes, we should be hard on them when they make mistakes and try to love them to correction if that's what they want to do. But we shouldn't be so hard on them that we gonna do what these white supremacists want us to do. This is the white supremacists want us to do. If one black person make a mistake, the whole race made a mistake. But if they make a mistake, then it's the individual, not the race. Why is it that we keep accepting the teaching of the slave master? I understand we are a tribal people, but we do not accept that teaching. If nobody else accepting that teaching, the Asian community don't accept that teaching, the Jewish community, the Arab community, all these different communities don't accept that teaching. Just you. You're the only one that will sit there and say, well, this one black person did it. That's it. I'm not doing nothing else. Think about that for a minute. See, things like that make us our own worst enemy against our progress. And outside of that, we got to deal with white supremacy as well. But see, in the midst of our progress, and we're going to get to that, we got to deal with them coming in too. But why is it that we are like that? We are so quick to put our own people on the chopping block. Yes, Tia Ray, you're right about that. I'm glad you just said that. It said yes, and white people support each other 100%, bad and good. Yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. I can do a whole stream just on how white folks support each other and how black folks don't support crap. I can do it. And of course, when you bring that up, oh, well, you're just mad because they're not giving you nothing. Like, how foolish you are. See, that's the problem with us. We don't want to support each other, but we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep going along. So what's the solution to the sins of the brothers and sisters? Stop being so much of a harsh judge on your brother and sister. That's a solution. Give people a chance. Let everybody be an individual. Yes, they may be black like you, but everyone's an individual. Let that individual make their mistakes or even do good before you. Learn the signs if someone is not doing right. Ask questions, look into it. There's no problem with that. But let's not demonize our whole community based off of the sin of another brother and sister. Now, we will definitely move to number 3. Just give me a second here so I can switch this out. Now, this is one that is very important, and this is one that we see a whole lot within our community, unfortunately. Jealousy. Yes, jealousy is one of our big problems, and I'm going to address jealousy on 2 fronts. Let me talk about black men for a minute. I'm a black man. Black men can become very jealous of each other. They become jealous when another black man gets a lot of women. That's one. That's how you make other black men your enemy. The second thing you make a black man your enemy on is the amount of success you have. And then also it can be some personal stuff about respect and all that other stuff. But that's just male, the ego, no matter what group. But we are jealous of each other. We are. Same thing with the women. I've seen the women be very jealous of each other. And their jealousy to me is so much complex. And there's so many things going along with the jealousy of the women that it's just way more than with us as brothers. Because I've seen it just on some, women stuff. I've seen it on, it could be looks. It could be, the different things about the colorism that goes along with the sisters. And that is a major issue with the sisters. Still don't know why, because as brothers, we don't have that colorism issue. It just be so many things I have seen that just jealousy. But in the area of business, there's some sisters that don't want to support another black woman because of a jealousy issue. There's some black men that don't want to support other black men because of jealousy, because you're thinking they're going to be more successful than you. We need to get out of that worrying about another person being more successful than you. We have to get it out of the individualism, and we need to get more into the community itself and look at the bigger picture. That's what we need to do, because being jealous of someone, that's the next step to killing somebody. Always. So we need to be careful being jealous of other people and having that kind of hate in our heart. So what's the solution with being jealous? Just stop doing it. Focus on what you do and make your life, good and special. But we can't be jealous if this brother or sister started a store, or they started a business or media company, or whatever kind of music, whatever we have. Don't be jealous of that person, because that person may have a kind heart and want to help you grow. Because how I believe in business and how I believe in life, you can't go to the mountaintop alone. You must take other people with you. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's why I, behind the scenes, make sure to help other black people, male and female, that's serious about doing things like what I'm doing, but they already kind of got themselves going. Then I'm behind the scenes help out much as possible with that individual or group of people, because I'm not jealous of black people. I love to see you make it. I love to see you get a career, open up a business. I love to see you get new cars, new homes, having a great marriage, wonderful children. I love to see that. I feel like I'm a part of that when you're successful. That's how I feel about it. I don't look at you funny like, oh, why him and not me? No, I don't look at it that way. If anything, I'm like, brother, what did you do and how can I be down? That's all I want to know. Give me the information and I go run with it from there, because obviously I'm not doing something right. And that's how we have to be. You cannot expect to be blessed having jealousy in your heart toward your brother and sister. You can't do that. And this is something that we need to stop, no matter what it is. And on the women level, I'm not going to even go into that too much because I'm not a woman, but I've seen it. But the only thing I'm going to speak in general, just stop being jealous of each other. That's the only thing I'm going to say. It's not good. Let's try to partake in people's joy. Don't be a bringer of destruction. Don't be jealous of a person's relationship. Get your own. Seen that happen, before too. Just be happy for other people a little bit more within our community. And also don't be jealous if they started a business or have an endeavor they started. Shoot, get with them. Shoot, maybe they can hire you. Maybe they can show you how to do yours, because maybe you can't get yours off of the ground. I mean, this is how we have to be within our community with our people. Now we're going to go into the next one here. So just give me a second here while this thing load up. All right, number 4 will be the myth of mass black poverty. Now, yes, poverty is in every community, of course. And yes, we do have people that's, poor and can't do a whole lot. But as a collective, you have to understand, you spend the most money on everything in this country. The amount of money that you make, if they were to build a country just for you, you would be ranked number 16 in the world, black people of America. You have now $1.3 trillion that you're spending in this country every year, but yet you only keep your money in your hands 6 hours. That's it, on average. That's horrible. Only 6 hours. Everybody else keep theirs in their hands multiple days. Multiple. Well, let's say the white folks keep theirs 14 days. They circulate their own money. The Jewish people, 21 days. The Asian community, 28 days. Is how they circle their money in their community. We have money to do for ourselves. We have it. But we choose to give it away to things that doesn't matter at the end of the day. So when we have black business, black endeavors, we shouldn't say, oh, I don't have to make one thing that even though other groups got, let me tell you something, the white community has actually more poverty than black people, if you do the numbers. But yet when they have something, even if some evil and ungodliness toward you, they will support it. Look at how much money they quickly gave Darren Wilson, George Zimmerman, what's that woman that did with Terrence Crutcher, Betty Shelby. All these different ones have killed our brothers, killed our children. They've given money to these people. Not one white person gave them the money, not a few. They super cop up real quick to give money for evil, or it could be something else. Now, I had this one lady sent me and this woman, I'm not gonna mention her name, but she knows she is. I don't know. She's one of those, swirler people or whatever. And I don't know why she monitors what I got going on or emailing me, but she sent me and actually T the same email. She attached T in it, and it just had a YouTube link that said, thank you. Okay. So I say, what is that? So, I looked at the link and it was this dude, he has less subscribers than I have. This dude looking for, kind of going on the same lines of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do, at least build a platform and studios and stuff like that. And this dude won 100K and he got like 58,000 in 2 days. And I looked at that and I wrote back and say, well, congratulations for him. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. But white folks gonna support white folks like that. The bottom line, they have no problem opening that wallet to white folks. That's why, because we don't create our own economy, that's why we have so many coons. Because, coons understand that, if they're going after money, they go after coon whore. They're going to have to do that. Let me coon whore a little bit. Let me whore myself out to white supremacy so I can get that money, because we haven't created an economy enough where people will feel like, okay, I don't have to coon whore no more. I can just be supported by my own people. I don't need to do that. Now, if other groups of people want to support, that's fine, but I don't have to whore myself out before massa to do that. And a lot of the excuse can be, well, we don't have money like that. That's BS, because every time I look up, I know people it's on Section 8 going by LeBrons, going by Jordan, going by iPhone, going by weave, going by clothes, purses. Y'all have it all. And that's one thing I can say about black people. You are never underdressed. Well, Joe, that's a blessing. Well, new creature, we're not letting nobody know what we're actually doing. We just making a conversation, right? So think about that for a minute. Just think about that. Is that we value so much on dressing. These people not giving these clothes away, are they? Are Nike giving Jordan away? Are Apple giving away iPhone? Or is any of these Asian-owned beauty supplies giving away hair extensions? No, they're not. And that's another thing I don't understand. Why is it black women ain't took over, like these white folks keep saying taking their country back? Why is it you haven't took black hair back? But that's going to be a whole nother stream in itself too, because I really have to encourage black women to take your industry back. These people making billions of dollars off of you. That's your money. That's our money. Why are we letting other groups of people benefit off of us? See, that's the crap I'm talking about right there. The black hair care industry, y'all only own 3% of it. The rest is owned by everybody else. Billions of dollars they sending their kids to Ivy League schools and everything off of your hair care industry. Then you go into their stores, you're looking at you funny. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Black women, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So trust and believe, when I was saying earlier, we aren't poor like that. We are doing better every year in spite of the things that we go through. Think about, why do you think white supremacy attack us so much? We have been through the worst, and yet we still here. We are still that remnant. We're still being successful. No different than like in Egypt when it came to the Pharaoh with Moses. The more work he put on them, the more he did to them, they kept multiplying, kept growing, kept being more successful in what they were doing. It's the same thing with us in this land. The white supremacists put the foot on our neck, kill us, do all kind of stuff to us, and we still multiplying. We still doing things they can't do. We still have a sharp mind. We're still just soaring in the wind. Out of all the things they do to us, we're still increasing financially. They know they can't stop us because they know we the true people of God. So the worst thing they can do is try to hinder us, because that's what the devil do. He can't stop you, but he sure try to hinder you. And one way he will hinder you is making you believe through propaganda that you have this mass poverty. See, I had to learn something about myself, about what my role and my position is. And my role is not the role of an activist. Because at one point in time, I thought that I was supposed to be an activist. And I was like, why is it I'm not in those circles? And I know everybody, but I'm not in those circles. But then it dawned on me my position. And the Lord put it in my heart. I didn't call you to be an activist. I call you to fight against the propaganda and against the prince and the power of the air that's in here. So that's what my fight is. I'm a soldier against the psychological warfare. I've accepted that's my calling. So we have to know what we're called to do, because this stuff is serious. And this propaganda has turned so many people, even worldwide, to have a hatred for black people. They ain't even met you and they hate you. Why? Because of the psychological propaganda that's been done by this white supremacist media against you. And one thing they put out there is that you're poor, when you know good and well we are not poor. So it should never be an excuse that we cannot support black business or black endeavors, that we have this mass poverty, not walking around how I see a lot of you guys walking around. If you were really poor, I would say, nah, we're not doing good at all. But you can't tell me that. We're doing very well in this country, in spite of. Definitely in spite of. So let's go ahead and go to the number 5 here. All right, number 5 is going to be can't see the bigger picture. Now, we talked about can't see the bigger picture in the last stream. We have to learn to look at the bigger picture of things. And instead of distrusting a black person, instead of being jealous of them, instead of, looking at the sins of the past of another brother and sister, we have to look at the bigger picture. If we don't have our own economy, if we don't have our own businesses, then we can never create anything for our children. See, one thing, as I stated in the last stream, these white folks are so worried about Trump and Hillary, Yes, they worry about themselves, but they keep saying the same thing. Well, what's going to happen with my children? What's going to happen with my grandchildren? Because they're seeing the bigger picture. And as black people, we have to stop living for today, but we have to start also looking for tomorrow and supporting black businesses and black endeavors and helping to build our own economy is setting up our children so they don't have to be subjected to white supremacists following them in stores thinking they're going to steal everything when we have set up an economy enough where they don't have to go over there. We don't have to, if we set up schools that, to educate our children, we don't have to worry about a white supremacist teacher telling our children that whites are superior and they are inferior. See, this is our fault. And I say our, it means all of us. This is our fault because we have the means to create our own economy. We just don't do it. We just get our money and say, oh, let me go hurry up and give my money to everybody else. Instead of thinking about, okay, what about our children? What about them? Like I have a 2-year-old, and when she goes to school, I don't want to put my children, my little girl especially, in no school where these people are going to be teaching my daughter all kind of stuff. I want my child in an African-centered school, and I know of one. I may have to drive to go do it, and it's a private school, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice because I don't want no white supremacist putting that stuff in my daughter's head. I don't. I just don't. And we have to create more of an economy for our kids, for our future. Aren't you tired of your children having to be subjected to racism? Aren't you tired of your children being looked down upon? Aren't you tired of your children being just used for football and for basketball, making these white folks billions of dollars? And if they give them anything, maybe a free scholarship, maybe a couple of million, but they making the billions off of your children. We need to create other inventions. We have a lot of ideas. We need to take our music back, like country music. Yes, that's our music. And I'm going to do a video about our country music. It's our music, and it came directly from Africa. It's not white folks' music. We need to take back rock and roll because rock is our music. We need to take back R&B. We need to take back rap because that's what we called it, rap. They changed it to hip hop. We need to take back rap. All this, everybody talking about taking stuff back. We need to take our stuff back because you look at these music genres, the only reason it got horrible because these white supremacists got involved with it and put their demonic voices and hands and everything and controlling our young brothers and sisters to sell themselves out because these brothers and sisters did not have record labels and economy to support them, to get them out of the situation. And we need record labels and that's not have no affiliation with them. They have no control other than, okay, we may use them for distribution, but no more than that. We are in control of everything. We have to create our economy. So many kids, you look at some of these kids who's talented poets. Rappers are poets, okay? That is something that's good to be, is a poet. They will sit there and say, kill black people, use the N-word, call, black women bees and hoes and all this other stuff. But the white folks don't let their people they say about killing white folks and shooting white folks and calling white women bees and hoes. You notice they don't do that in their music, but they make sure the black, music is done that way. Why is that? Because they want you to stay in a position where you don't think there's no hope. And you sit up here repeating your own death and destruction because there's power in words. And you got to focus on that. It's life and death and the power of the tongue. It's the truth. You can speak life to your situation or you can speak death to your situation. And I'm sorry, I can't listen to music talking about killing black people all day. Now, it was funny when those kids made a video saying the same lyrics about Donald Trump and how them white folks just reacted. Oh, boy, they were chimping out about that one. But them same kids can make videos talking about killing black people, hurting black people, and not a word is said. This is stuff we're talking about. We need to create our own economy in this country. We have to, because these people are not playing. They saying they want to take their country back, and taking their country back don't include you. Understand that they don't include you in nothing they trying to do. The only thing you good for is to use you for something, use you for money, use you for sex, use you for your talent. That's it. Other than that, they're not including you with being successful with them. Please. So we have to understand and see the bigger picture of everything. We have to. The bigger picture is not only yourself, but the future, of our children here in America. When are we going to stop begging the white man for everything and do for self? So we're going to go ahead and go to the next one. So I hope y'all doing all right on this. So we're going to go to number 6. Number 6. Well, hold on, let me answer this. There are good white people out there, though. I never said there wasn't any good white people, but more good white people need to show their face and stand up against the demonic white people. That's the only thing I say about the situation. It's good in all kind of people. Number 6, allow white supremacy to shame you. Now, what do I mean by that? So we having a discussion like this, right? And the white supremacists to come in. That's prime example. When we was, everybody was pushing the bank black-owned banks, going to black-owned, doing all the stuff with black banks. What's the first thing that the white supremacists told you? It's racist to say bank black. What if I say bank white? You don't have to say it because everything's set up for white. It's rigged, like Donald Trump would say, for white. Everything is rigged for white in this country. So why would you say bank white when everything is owned by white people? It's rigged that way. So banking black, you start explaining to the white supremacists, no, banking black is not racist. First of all, stop engaging them with that word. They don't know what they're talking about. Saying to take your money and place it in a black-owned bank, 1, builds your community. Number 2, we won't have to worry about them stealing your money like you seen Bank of America and Chase and Wells Fargo. Look at Wells Fargo creating all them accounts. Look at what they did recently. Got caught up in all kind of fraud. And I don't know why any black people would have their money in Wells Fargo after being caught, or anybody for that matter, after being caught up in the stuff they did. I mean, they was brought before Congress. That's how bad they were doing it. Creating 7 and 8 accounts in people's names without their knowledge, just so they can meet quotas. That's just foul right there. And every group support their own banks. The Asian community got banks, they support their banks. Hispanics have their banks, they support theirs. Everybody support their own. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're the only one told that it's racist to support banks in your community. Now, what part of that are you saying, well, my race is superior than anyone else? I mean, if you want to go with a small version of racism, how is that? Did you say you hate anybody? Did you say you're superior? No, it's your money. Do what you want to do with your money. But you got to understand, white supremacy going to come in and shame you for everything that you do. If you speak up the truth against them, they're going to try to shame you. You must hate white. Yeah, you hate white people. You do. So when they throw an accusation, remember, who is the accuser of the brethren? Always remember that. When you hear accusations hurled at you, and they're not true, they're speaking with the tongue of the devil. They're speaking from the voice of their father, okay? They say that you are the racist. You hate white people. No proof of anything, no words you said or nothing, but yet they're trying to shame you because the moment you start defending your actions to them, they won. I don't care if it's in the comments section. I don't care if it's at your job or wherever else. The moment you start defending your actions of what you're doing with your life and your community to them, they won, they control you. Do they come and worry about what you have to say? What they do with their money? Or what they do in their endeavors? Do they consult you? Do they ask you? Do they worry about anything that you say? Hell no. So why are you worrying about what they say to you? About what you do with your money, what you do with your children, about education, about how you want to be treated and demand that you be treated a certain way. Don't you ever give explanation to these white supremacists, and don't you dare allow them to shame you. See, the problem is you allow white supremacists to have too much authority in your mind and in your heart. Why? They have proven themselves to be the most evil and vile group of people toward us. The white supremacists have. So why are you listening to them? I don't listen to no criminal tell me something about my life. Well, I know this criminal could do me something at any moment. I don't care what color the criminal is, black, white, I don't care. So why am I going to take the word of a white supremacist who had proved himself to be a criminal to us, to be an agent of torture to us? Why am I going to let him shame me? He has no moral high ground to shame me. None. So how you going to shame me? How you going to tell me what to do? You see, a lot of them feel that we still are their slaves. And they feel that way because we still bear the name of our slave master on our last names. Remember, when we got off of the boats, whatever last name that we have right now, that was the name given to our ancestor. So like my last name, for instance, most people know my last name is Scott, right? So old Mr. Scott's plantation is where my ancestors was at. And that's why I'm looking more and more into that about, how to go about, once I finish my ancestry DNA and see kind of where I'm from, I'm really thinking about name change. I am, because I just don't like the label of a slave master on me like that, like a brand. That's why these people feel they so attached to us like that a lot of times, because we walking around with their names. We still got the slave master's name on our backs. The true royal family say we need to stop being victims. Let's talk about that victim. Let me tell you something. It's nothing wrong with talking about what we've been through. You don't go tell the Jewish people to stop being victims talking about the Holocaust. The Holocaust didn't even happen here. So how is it that black people are always being told stop being a victim when we have 246 years of chattel slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow? We only been so-called free for 50 years, and all during Jim Crow was hangings and beatings and church bombings and all this stuff. It's not like we've been away from that stuff for hundreds of years. Stuff's still going on to this day. We have a right to talk about what happened to us and stop being fooled by white supremacy to sit up there and accept. Trust me, when you say, well, we need to stop being victims, basically you alleviating them for the guilt and shame they have just by looking at your face. Remember, the look of us, our skin color, our presence make them remember constantly what they have done to us. That's why when they say white guilt, it's not a white guilt. It's a conviction of the Holy Spirit upon them. That's what it is. The God's convicting them when they sin. It ain't us. We have no power to even make them feel guilty or anything in their hearts. But we have to stop allowing white supremacy to shame us. The solution is if they try to come tell us something, don't respond. Tell them, go worry about your heroin epidemic. Go worry about your crystal meth epidemic. Worry about all these white males that's killing cops. We have a whole playlist called War on Cops on our second channel. Check it out. We have white on white crime. Tell them to go check that out too. Worry about that. Don't worry about what we got going on. If we ask you for your opinion, then go ahead and give it to us. But we didn't ask you, stay in your place. And most of the people that's trying to tell you something anyway is white supremacists. It's not even the general population of white people trying to tell you something, really, for the most part. So we're going to go to number 7. Let's see here. All right. Number 7 will be assumption of success. So, and I'm going to use myself for an example. Some people think that I really have a lot of money. I've had some people try to say, oh, well, he wears GQ suits. No, I don't. I can tell you right now where I get my suits from. There's a website called contemposuits.com, and I usually go there and get my suits on a discount that I usually send to my inbox. I usually don't even pay no more than maybe less, sometimes if I catch it right, less than $100 for a suit. Yeah, I do that. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on those suits, especially since I'm going through a process of losing weight and I'm not going to be stuck with a lot of suits. And expensive suits, the ones that are like $4,000 or $5,000 are tapered to your body very well. They're extremely tapered. And suits that aren't expensive aren't tapered like that. So I'm not one to spend money like that. I try to catch deals, sales, or whatever. People just assume what they see, they think what they know, right? So even if a person's in business and you say, oh, they got this car, or oh, they got a little small business, talking about a black person, you don't know about the small business tax that's killing them. And usually your first time going through small business tax, you're probably going to pay maybe, if you don't know much about taxes, of course, and a lot of us as black people don't even know much about that. And we learn the hard way, $10,000 or more, sometimes your tax bill in small business. The first few years of any business is the critical stages of business because that's where you fail the most. If you fail, most small businesses don't even make it to 5 years, which is, messed up, right? So don't assume just what people have. Some people, my mother raised me is not what you wear. It is how well you wear it. That's the way I was raised. So don't assume, people are just extremely successful based off of because anybody could show anything. Somebody could take a picture of somebody else's car and somebody else's house and you think, oh, okay, they got money like that. No, they don't. Just don't assume. A person has to work hard to provide for their family, to provide for their kids. And if they saying that, hey, we trying to do this, we trying to raise different, things for the children, we're trying to do whatever they're trying to do, right? Business, school, whatever. Don't assume by what they wear. They could be wearing the same shirt, the same suit, whatever. And now, guys, we live. Let me tell you something. I have a border collie. I'm going to switch up for a second. And this dog sometimes can get on my nerves early in the morning because it was so early. And he just making some noise back there, but I'm going to get a hold to him. That's why I'm going to try to finish this up. I don't know if you guys hear him real quick. But just don't assume at any time about anybody. Find out if you really need to know about them. I don't even know. I don't know I don't know what a slab is. I don't even know what a slab is. What kind of slab I know is Houston. That's a car, and you and dare catch me in nothing like that. Oh hell no. That's some hood rat stuff. But if you like that sort of thing, that's you. It just make you a cotton magnet. Let's see here. All right. So the next one we're gonna put up here is let me hold on a second. Y'all, we doing this live right now. Let me see if I can call my daughter. Watch for a minute. To let this crazy dog out. Like I said, these dogs, they part of the family and everything. His name is Simba. My dog's name is Simba. Like Lion King Simba, and then we have our other dog named Nala. So I get on to him sometime. But the next one was yeah, I know, right? Yes. Simba. Quiet. I'll be with you in a minute. Anyway, hey, we doing it live. The demand of unreal transparency. A lot of times that, people, in our community, since they don't trust black people, they've been burdened in the past, maybe by other black people. They're jealous, possibly. They, believe they ain't got no money because they poor. They can't see the bigger picture. They let white supremacy come in. They assume they got money. They start demanding unreal transparency. In other words, like when these people, let's say like the Clinton Foundation or Jerry's Kids or whatever, they ask you for donations for whatever. You don't ask them, well, let me see what you're going to do with it. Let me see the business plan. Now, certain amounts of money do deserve a business plan and what you're going to do with it. I believe that. And we have a business plan on anything that we do. We also have a media deck. We also have the studio plan. I mean, verbatim, how much it's going to cost, the dimensions. We have it all. But I'm not going to just post something like that on YouTube. I'm talking about me. I'm not going to post it on YouTube for anybody to see, the white supremacists to know all our business. Nobody run business like that. But if someone comes up and say, okay, well, look, I want to give $1,000. I want to give $5,000, $10,000, but I want to see your business plan. No problem. We can definitely show you that, show you anything you want to see because you're giving a, pretty substantial amount of money and we don't want you to feel, that it's going to a wrong thing, right? So we need to stop being even so hard on that. It goes back to the distrust thing. We have to learn to trust our people enough and just ask questions to them privately if you're serious about certain amounts that you're trying to help out with that endeavor with. Don't just be picking and asking for information and you're not trying to help out with that, whatever it may be, whether it's a school, because I know, I think a year or two ago, the situation about Dr. Umar's school, and one thing that I had told them was some people that were kept asking about a business plan because it was a big endeavor. And I said the same thing to them at the time. I said, look, if people giving a certain amount, like good amounts, let them see a business plan. I mean, why not? I mean, because you have to present one if you went to the SBA or went to a bank or anybody else. So definitely have that. Like anything that we do, trust me, we are not running bad black business. I have a business manager that take care of all that stuff. And if I'm unsure, I pick up the phone. I talk to him. Sometimes he may be talking for 2 hours. He's there to make sure things go right and filter out certain, because there are people that's came to me, they wanted me to do certain things. And I love passing the information to him and letting him deal with them, and he filters them out. I've had people in the past that want to say, oh, we want to invest, and I let him just go filter that out too. And then he bring me the situation, because no one's going to come in and invest anything. And I want to make sure to let you guys know that I refuse to take money from anybody that's going to come in and want to say they want control. It ain't happening. No, it's going to be 100%, because I have a certain plan and I have a certain goal for what we do here. And no amount of money is worth me turncoating, because then to me, I'll be like coon whoring too. If I just, I'm going to take your money, but well, you want me to start talking about this, or can you kind of tone down? I'm not tone down crap. I'm going to turn up more than a turn down, right? So you can keep your money. I'd rather keep running it like I got going on. So when it comes to us and other black people, let's not have an unreal transparency. It's okay to ask questions like how you going to do it? What's your dimensions of let's say, if a woman want to open up a hair salon, what about the hair salon? How many chairs, how many people you plan on servicing? How many people? It's like simple questions like that. It's no big deal. But when you start wanting, too much, that they'll say, okay, all right. Well, we need to figure out, because you can't give away your trade secrets. You don't know if that's your competition, you're giving all your secrets away to. You don't know. So you got to be careful. And no person like Walmart, Target, Verizon, T-Mobile, anybody, these big major corporations, right? They're not going to give away all their business plans to you. It's just not going to happen. So we have to also think that way when it comes to our people as well. We can ask questions for sure. We can ask for different things. And I'm definitely open to give anything related to what I do if a person's, trying to give a substantial amount of money, but we got that always on the computer. So make sure that we look into that a little bit better and not demand an unrealistic transparency. Let's see, we'll go to number 9. Acceptance of a permanent underclass status. A lot of times we feel we can't support black business or black endeavors because we feel we're underclass. Some of us in our mind feel we should not have our own economy. Some of us feel that we should, just do our best as I can and make Massa happy and hope he give us the crumbs off of his table while he's sitting there eating from the fatted calf. That's how we feel about ourselves, unfortunately. A lot of us do. And one thing that will break you out of that is just learning yourself, realizing that it's not your position to be underclass. It's your position to soar, to be at the top. And that's where you need to be. Don't ever accept that you're underclass. That's why these people constantly try to put in your head that you're inferior and they're superior. They have to keep telling themselves that because they don't believe it. They don't believe it. Trust me, if they believe, one thing about this, if you believe something about yourself, you don't have to keep telling yourself that. And actually other people will tell you that about yourself. So if they believe that they're superior, they don't have to keep saying that because other people will tell them that. They know they're inferior. That's why they got to keep telling you they're superior, you're inferior, because they know good and well you have so many natural gifts and talents that God gave you alone. So they got to make sure to suppress that and keep up their lie that they have going on. So you're not an underclass person. Even in your poverty, you are still rising above a lot of other people. So never believe you're an underclass person. Don't accept that crap. That is not your position. That's not what the Lord created you to do or created you to be, as anyone's underclass. You are always at the top. Only reason you'll be underclass because you accepted that in your mind and you making sure through your actions that you stay underclass. That's it. Nobody can hold you back but you at the end of the day, sister, brother. Well, yeah, so segment, yeah, like your name. Yeah, we gotta support the babies. And one way we support the babies is showing the babies the right way by not believing that we are a permanent underclass. Because children, let me say, I have a 2-year-old. She mimics everything I do, my wife, my kids. She's a sponge. So since she's a sponge, I'm at a perfect time to make sure she learned the right things. I'm concerned about her image, what she think. I'm not gonna allow her to have any kind of issues that I see some sisters have about, beauty and all this other stuff. That's why, when it comes to my daughter, she play with dolls that look like her. I'm not gonna have her play with a bunch of dolls that don't look like her and think black is ugly. It ain't happening. I don't care if she get a doll or two that's I don't get maybe white. I don't care about that. That's not the issue. But I want to make sure that most of her dolls look like her, because I refuse to have my daughter grow up thinking black is ugly, black features is ugly, black hair is bad. Not mine. I will fail as a parent if I let my child grow up like that. It ain't happening. No, I want my daughter to grow up to be a sister girl. That's what I always said. A very smart one at that. And my daughter likes to talk, so she may take my place one day. I don't know. I would like for her to take my place. One of my kids take my place. She just like to talk a lot. And one day Brother Derek was here, and she was just talking to Brother Derek. And Brother Derek was like, boy, it look like she going to be the talker. I said, yeah, she may be the one. And the way she acts, she may be worse than me at times. So we should not accept at all that we are a permanent underclass in no way, shape, or form. Our features aren't underclass. Our skin aren't underclass. Our minds aren't underclass. Our culture isn't an underclass. We are nothing like that. Now, since we are not an underclass people, then we need to say that it is just our duty to have our spirit of excellence about ourselves to make sure that we support black business and black endeavors. That's just part of it. We have to do that. Let's move on to be the last one. The last one would be a bad experience. Now, you will have bad experiences sometime. And because we may have a bad experience, some of us, it goes back to the sins of other brothers and sisters. We'll say, well, I'm not going to shop with black people no more because I went to this black restaurant and they took too long and, the food wasn't cooked right. Now, instead of you going to talk to them and say, hey, listen, the food, what happened? The food took too long. And just like I say, be nice about it. Of course, don't be rude and ugly and cussing and fussing. Don't do that, because you can go to any of these white-owned restaurants like Chili's and Applebee's and all these other ones. How many times have you possibly waiting too long for food, or the food was bad or whatever? You didn't say, I ain't going to Chili's no more. Forget that junk. I ain't going to support none of them. No, you don't do that. You go right back again. You just want a different server, or you want to find out from the manager what took so long with your food, or what's, whatever. That's all. And so if you're going to do that with other businesses, then make sure you do that with our businesses. That's what we need to do. We shouldn't be saying a bad experience to keep us away from black people, because that would be utterly wrong. And we have to make sure to pay attention to these things when we do this. And sometimes we are so on autopilot on a lot of that we do. We don't realize that we're doing it a lot of times. So that's why we want to point this stuff out. We want to go through it and say that this is the things that's kind of holding us back in the area of black business and endeavors. And what can we do to change this? Because one thing like about white folks, like I said, they support their people. We can't complain about Hollywood and not create our own. We can't complain about the news and whatever and not create our own or support. We have plenty of people that's doing news and social commentary, and y'all don't understand about that. The more you guys support us, the more we can do, period. because everything eventually costs. Equipment costs. Eventually, if you want your program to go, you got to bring in more people. So you may need to bring a producer in to help in the background with graphics and all this other stuff. Other people host or whatever. It's a lot of things that you may have to bring in. And it costs for sure. So rest assured that if you have a person that's serious, and if you like what that person do, whoever that person may be, if you like them and you want them to keep doing it and also putting themselves on the line, because understand, a person like myself, I put myself on the line all the time. And, a lot of people know eventually will see who I am or whatever. And I don't get certain opportunities because of what I say. I don't get all these sponsored videos because of what I say. I don't get a bunch of investors coming in because of what I say, because I'm telling the truth. So if I'm telling the truth for my community, and I'm speaking up for my community and putting myself on and my family on the line for my community, well, the more I can do that, is through support. And the more, other people like, Cynthia or Lovely T or anybody else that, who's out there doing it. And we need different people. Not everybody do the same thing. Like, T, that's my homegirl there. Me and her went through a lot on this website, and I'm glad me and her are good friends, right? She do her thing. We need everybody doing different things. Everybody can't do the same thing. And we need to support, Black people doing a bunch of different things. Not just this, but, if those opening restaurants, those creating products, hair care products, we just need to be more supportive of what we do. Now, like on my end, like I said, on behind the scenes, we've had a lot of conversations about that, with me and other Black content creators about that's one issue that we run into. You can have a bunch of subscribers, but when it comes to people really getting the rubber meeting the road on some things, it doesn't happen like it do for the white folks. But it's a reason for that, and that's why we're going through some of these reasons. And if we want to create our own economy, let's create our own economy. We can't, like I said before, we can't complain about CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and hold on a second, guys. Here we go again. We trying to talk. Simba, quiet. See, y'all give me in real time. Y'all see, I don't get that stuff during the videos. I edit all that mess out. But we can't complain about the mainstream media if we're not willing to create our own. And then when some people have their own, they still tap dancing for the Democrats and anybody else. Like, listen, Roland Martin's show is good and all that, but he even came out in the WikiLeaks emails, being a part of the mess with Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? And so we need our own organizations, our own companies to the new Black media. We got to have it. But you think the white people going to support, or I'm going to say the white supremacist media, going to support the new Black media? Do you really think they're going to support that? Seriously? And then some of these white supremacists come in and say, he's getting money from George Soros. Listen, if George Soros want to give me some money, I'll take it. But he ain't going to control nothing here. He ain't going to tell me what to talk about. If that's what he want to do, I don't care. I don't turn down green if long as it's about not controlling nothing. I told it to so many people. One guy tried to come in and actually it was a white guy, and he wanted to offer a certain amount of money, but he wanted me to talk about a certain thing. I said, it ain't happening. I turned down money that could have got things done, not to coon whore. I'm letting you guys know that I turned down $100,000 before. I could have had the studio, but I wasn't going to coon whore. You're not going to control my platform. It's just not going to happen. I believe in being 100% Black on what I got going on. I don't care if you agree with it or not, but that's what I believe in. And if I turn down $100,000 to not be controlled, then I say, well, I have to stick doing what I'm doing, and maybe the people see the dream and jump on board. I don't know. I said, but I'm not going to coon whore. My children are not going to look at me and say, Dad, you sold out for some money. It's just not happening. We say agents don't complain. No, they don't have to complain about racism because two things. They have a natural segregation with the language. That's why I wish we had our own language. And two, they built their own economy. Well, like I said, Well, segment. Thank you. I appreciate it. The thing is, like I said, I'm just trying to, what we trying to do, and this I'm just telling you my idea. A little bit on some things. I have so many ideas about creating shows. Like I said, I have so many ideas on family shows, not just news. Documentaries I would like to do on some topics that's not being, covered. But all that kind of stuff costs money, right? And, in my mindset, I was thinking, you shouldn't be doing GoFundMe's all the time. My thought was, if we, at least on this platform, get 1,000 people out of all the people that watch, at least 1,000 people that'd be willing to donate $5 a month on Patreon. We would rather go to the 1,000 people and show them everything that we want to do in a video. Because on Patreon, you can show the exclusive videos, show you everything you want to know, the plans, who going to be a part of it, everything, which I have no problem doing that. And, just say, hey, we need this. Can you all donate this month? And then go back to the regular ones. It'd be so much that we can do. And that's what we want to do. We want to do so much more. If we had 1,000 people on Patreon doing $5 a month, we wouldn't need no GoFundMe. We'd just wait for a few months and we'll have everything that we need. It's just that simple. And the more that we have, y'all get me in a limited scale. Y'all need to understand that I'm limited on my time because I still go to a job. Not really because I have to, but I still go to a job. Now, what if y'all had me full time? Think about that for a minute. What if you had me full time? How much more content could I put out full time? How many more live streams that I can do? How many? Well, if that's the thing. If you get the support, then you get more time. Now, my business manager would like me to do things full time, but I say, we don't have support right now for that. I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking ahead. I say, we get the support, we will do it full time. I've started double working now with the second channel. Everyone who's possibly watching, please subscribe to the second channel, which is Advise Show Media, because we're putting videos up over there every day. We're doing the, like I said before, the white on white crime videos. Those videos are very important. Those videos will give you a good reference when these people come talk to you about crime and how you commit all the crimes and they don't commit much. No, I'm giving you current videos that you can use that will destroy every bit of propaganda they use against you. Before, you never had a reference when these people come against you. They're doing it, but now you specifically can know what stories they're actually doing and you'll be able to quote it verbatim. And from my experience, the white supremacists, when you quote them verbatim what they're doing, they back off because they know they can't argue with you. They can't. So please subscribe to that channel, Advise Show Media. Check the description box. If you guys, like apps, you can go to the iTunes store or the Google Play Store and download the Advise Show Media app. We have an app, as well. You can check that out in your spare time. Like I said, people like to do one-time donations possibly. We have a PayPal link. Like I said, we still have the GoFundMe going. We just over now, a little over 10,000 now, but we still have some time to go. To try to raise these funds for the studio. Now, the studio, like I say, is very important. And you're not going to get too many people on mainstream media speaking like the way at least I speak here. I don't care what person you bring on CNN, they're not going to call these white supremacist devils. They're not going to call them the names that they truly are. They're not going to show the stories, and they're not going to care about you like I and many others on this platform care about you. Because at the end of the day, I and the other people that's on this platform have a vested interest in these stories. It's personal for us. It's not a game. I have children, you have children, and at any moment, we can, be in those positions like some of our brothers and sisters are in these stories. When one person didn't understand what I mean by they don't report these stories, or when they're talking about these white folks, and one person was like, well, they do report them. Yes, they report them. Sure they do. But they don't report them in the intensity where their names and running their faces 24/7 and over and over and over and over. They don't do that. They talk about it one time and they move on. That's what I mean by they're not reporting these stories. So, guys, make sure to, let people know about the channel, the Advice Show TV channel. Let your friends and family know about it. Leave comments and let me know what you think about this. You agree with it, or what could you do to be more supportive in all endeavors that we're trying to do? We are all we have. We it, and if we don't fix it, we're gonna cease to exist. We got to create our own economy. We got to stop making everybody else rich. We got to stop making everybody else billionaires in this country. We have to stop, and we have to in turn and keep our own money within our community, create our own stuff. So, thank you guys for listening. And we'll definitely see you next time.